Fun, baby.
Hi Trader, Tina here once again from ShortMeTina.com with my daily recap. Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. I hope you had a great and enjoyable weekend. I hope you had at minimum a decent start to your Monday. Before we get underway and recap the overall markets, let me welcome you. If this is your very first time tuning into a ShortMeTina video, I'd like to say welcome. Do us a solid in the comment section right now. Let me know what your name is. Let me know how you found us. And let me know how you spent your weekend. Say hi. I generally say hi back if you are returning. You know what I'm going to say? Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. You too, comment in the comment section. Let me know what you did for the weekend. All right, to our mission statement. What do we do here? I think it's always very fitting to start off with our mission statement so you know exactly what we stand for here. What is our mission? Our mission here is to build a powerhouse of successful traders and to help you find more winners. We conclude, if you win, we win. For that to happen right now in the comment section, let me know what your biggest frustration is, like your biggest struggle in reaching your trading goals. What frustrates you when it comes to trading? Again, in the comment section, let me know that. Get involved. And lastly, I'm going to link this video here, what I identify as, in my opinion, the three pillars or the three principles to successful trading. Again, I've been trading for well over 15 years. I think you need all three of these pillars, all three of these principles to be successful at trading. If you're lacking one, if you're missing one, more than likely your performance is not at the height as it can be. So the minute is about 12 minutes in length. Make sure you catch it. I'm going to link it. All right, let's recap the overall markets. All right, so we have Bitcoin here, daily chart dating back to November of 2017, off about we're off about 2.3%. I see a print here of about 10,300. So for the past few days, Bitcoin has actually been cycling through, we can say around 9,000 to 11,000. So it seems as though it's kind of stuck in that range. And I'm actually perfectly okay with that. Remember, as long as we can stay at or above 10,000, things should be okay, in my opinion, with Bitcoin. Just to reiterate, where do I see this going? Well, I did say it shouldn't hang out in this area for too long, right? So I want to say, I believe I said towards the ending of July, beginning of August, which does not give us a lot of time, 2 to 3 weeks, we should be, in my opinion, retesting that 3,000, 4,000 level, right? I don't think we should be hanging out here too long. Again, we should be retesting that 3,000, 4,000 level. If we can do that with volume, you're going to have to look down there with volume, sustain that break. As you can see, we have not really sustained that break or even broke above, dating back to January of 2018. So for one can argue, arguably, about 2 years we have not traded in this range. So once we get there, for me, there's not much resistance, not much overhead, hence why I see it at least topping out at around 20,000. Again, end of year target for me in Bitcoin. I don't see how this cannot be trading at 40,000 with a strong bull market. I see 100,000 with Bitcoin. So remain long. What else? Then we have the S&P 500 daily chart dating back to November 2017, but I'm really paying attention to this highlighted area. We closed at 298.17, again, up about 0.3% on the day. So why am I paying attention to this area here? Because we've broken out, in my opinion, we've broken out of a channel that's developed for about 2 years. So that is in many respects bullish, but as always, the break needs to be sustained. Meaning if it dips below this purple line here, we can call that support of around 293, I believe, to 293 to 295. If it dips below that and it cannot get above, then things might look weak, not weak. Yes, weak and bleak, as we might, let's do this, we might see a scenario like we saw, if I can kind of highlight it here. We might see a scenario like we saw in September of 2018 all the way to December, where we hit resistance, this purple line, but then we couldn't sustain and we actually fell back down. I don't see that as a likely scenario, but with the market, anything is possible. What else? IWM off about 0.1% on the day. I see a print here of 153.64. Like I've indicated numerous times, nothing new here. We really need to penetrate this blue line here. I've gotten rid of the annotation, so this chart looks relatively clear. But this blue line here, we can call that 160. I've maintained we really need to get above 160 for things to get going. As you can see here, we're having a very difficult time getting above 160. Remember, I said we need to really be drifting towards that level. It seems as though we're actually drifting away from there. We had scenarios like just most recently February of 2019, again drifting towards 160, likelihood of it breaking increases. Didn't happen. All right, we tried again in May of 2019, most recently, likelihood of it breaking. It did break, right? We went as high as like 161, didn't sustain that break. We pulled back. Now you're saying to yourself, all right, we're going to try this again. Let's try this one more time. However, it has sort of stalled and lagged here, right? Trading between, let's say, 153 to 155, 166. We're not even getting to 158. We're not even getting to 159, much less getting above 160. So ideally, if it's to break 160, you want it to be trending in that area, and it's not doing that. But so now I'm paying attention to obviously 160, but I'm paying attention to this red line here. We can call that support, which comes in at around 148 to 150. If we break that, the market is not looking so strong. What else? All right, and then we have BYND daily chart acting very bullish today, right? Up about 9% on the day. I see a print here of 194.20. What have I indicated in my past videos of BYND? And I'll make this really quickly. Once we hit, well, I initially said that the stock can see 200. We hit 201.88. We pulled back. Just a side note, I'm not in. I have not been able to get a decent level of entry, but that's besides the point. I'm still going to do a recap. So I said, if we can revisit that 200 one, it's going to measure for me, or it just shows the strength of the bulls. That's one. And if we can get to 200, I don't see why we can't get to 300. Now, I'm not saying whether or not it should be valued at 300. I think 300 would give it about a what? 15 billion valuation, give or take. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But right now, I think at 200, it's valued at about 10 billion. Am I saying Beyond Meat should be worth 10 billion? No, I'm a technician, right? I look at the data, I look at the numbers, I look at price action, and I make projections based on that. And clearly, dating back to when the stock IPO'd in May of 2019, the stock has been on a tear, and it hasn't really wavered. Granted, we had this little pullback here that started in June, but it pulled back from 201 to around 138. Yeah, in many respects, that's a decent pullback. But even so, it did not create it. Right now, we're retesting or almost retesting those previous highs of 201.88. If we can get back past there, I see this is a $300 stock. I maintain that. What else? And then we have ticker BMY off about 1.2% on the day. I did a video analysis on BMY on Friday, and I indicated that we actually took this trade in the premium member community on the short side, and I've been publicly bearish for a very long time. Not because I don't like Bristol-Myers, I'm just looking at the chart. And if we look at the chart again, like I indicated before, it peaked in July of 2016 at around $76. And since then, it's been in a downtrend, and that is characterized by lower highs, right? So where the high in July was at 76, fast forward, the low in February of 2018, or rather the high in February of 2018 is 68. The high in October of 2018 is around 62. The high in March of 2019 is around 53. The high in June of 2019 is 48. So again, characterized by lower highs. Stock is in a clear downtrend. We broke, and this is where the writing sort of was on the wall for me, right? Again, daily chart dating back to 2013. So you're looking at a 6-year chart. We broke this longer term support here of around $44, give or take, and we're sitting here at $42.77. So we're essentially trading at levels we have not seen in about 5 years. I'm not saying to put on a short now, that would be foolish. The company reports earnings on July 25th. Even if the earnings are positive and you have a big pop, for me, at this moment, at this juncture, the stock remains in a downtrend. It has to start reversing that, right? You have to start seeing going up for me to then say, now the trend has changed. Until then, remain bearish on ticker BMY. What else? All right, and then we have ticker NTEC daily chart off about 81% on the day. Not even sure if I need to do an analysis. You see here the gap down. Let me zoom in, gap down. closed at 55 cents. Again, I'm not even sure I need to do an analysis. But yeah, I'm bearish. I have to be bearish on any stock that plunges 80% in one day. Now, granted, there is a reason for the plunge, right? Apparently, they were developing some sort of a treatment for Parkinson's disease, and the clinical trial did not show any sort of improvement in functionality, right? Hence the sell-off. So essentially, the drug that they probably had hopes for did not perform as well as they thought it would. In fact, there was no improvement. So the drug essentially is a dud. Now, for me, that just essentially means that this is dead money. They have to go back to the drawing board and start all over. So, am I bearish? Absolutely. Not to say that the stock is going to crash much more. I can't see it really deflating much more from 80%, but I don't think it's going to rise anytime soon because, again, they have to go back to the drawing board. I don't even think I need to do a technical analysis. Any stock that's off 80%, especially pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are very tough, in my opinion, tough stocks to trade. I do trade them, but I usually stay far away, especially if they don't have proven drugs, right? A company like BMY, that's different. They have drugs on the market. These sort of smalls, they're really like a lottery ticket because if the drug does, if the clinical trials do well, the drug, it's a process as well, right? Like you got to do testing, clinical trials, then you have to submit applications for approval, drug hits the market, then you have to wait for sale. It's a very, very long process in my opinion. This is dead money. What else? And then we have Netflix daily chart off about 1.4% on the day. Again, after earnings, you had this gap down. Stock has been trending down for 3 days since then. See a close of 310.62. We went as low as 305.81, like I indicated before. Do not be surprised to see Netflix trading either at the low threes, considering price action, or high twos. Even though we had this little bump towards the ending of the day to close at 310.62, I still see this drifting towards the high twos. So I still think there's more decline for Netflix. What else? And then we have earnings this week, huge earnings week, but some of the ones that I'm paying attention to obviously would be Twitter. Today we're up about 2.2% to close at $37.58. We're above support here of around $30. Obviously with earnings, things are a crapshoot. It doesn't even matter if earnings are good or bad. The market is going to swing the way it swings, but obviously I'll be paying attention to that $30 level. What else is there? Snapchat, obviously I'm long Snap. I'm going to be paying attention to that. So far, the stock has been on a tremendous uptrend. I like it. I think if investors push this up after good earnings, you can potentially, even if it's bad earnings, if investors decide to buy into this stock after earnings, I think you can see a push to $16 or $17. Again, I'm long. I'm holding actually into earnings. And then we have Coca-Cola, a defensive play. Again, I've been talking about Coca-Cola for a while. We were in this trade at one point, got about 8 to 9% out of this trade. We're not currently in this trade, but it's still on my radar. It's still on my watch list, as you can see here, breaking out of this base dating back to 2016, which is this highlighted area here, trading at 51.22. What's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to see. I'm not trying to buy or trade Coca-Cola or Twitter for that matter. Through earnings, I'm going to see how investors react, and then I'm going to take it from there. Coca-Cola, what can happen? It can either, and this is going to sound very silly, but it can either resolve itself to the downside, upside, or it can remain flat. Like, those are your options, right? Best to see what investors want to do and then make a play there. That's how I would do it with Coca-Cola and Twitter anyway. Snapchat, I'm remaining in the trade because it's not a trade, it's an investment for me, and I believe in it longer term. All right, so let's cap it there. Tina here once again from ShortMeTina.com. If you enjoyed any portion of this video, I'd like for you to do 3 things for me. 1, comment in the comment section. What stocks are you paying attention to with earnings season rolling in right now? Are you looking to get into any trades? What are your plans for earnings season? Comment in the comment section. Let me know. Secondly, if you want to hear more videos like this, head on over to our YouTube channel at ShortMeTina. Make sure the notifications are turned on and you are subscribed. And lastly, I've been training for well over 15 years. So if you think you can learn anything from me, then head on over to ShortMeTina.com. Sign up, become a member. Thank you for listening. And as always, thank you for the support.
Vision, dreams of passion. And all the while I think of you. A very strange reaction. The more I see, the more I do. Baby, telling your body to come ride. White line highway, tell all your friends they can go my way. Pay your toll, sell your soul. Pound for pound, costs more than gold. The longer you stay, the more you pay. My white lines go a long way, either up your nose or through your vein. With nothing to gain except killing your brain.